Hey guys, my name is Dr. Arkady Safarov. I usually go by Ark at work, so a little bit about myself before I jump into the topic of this video. I created this channel a long time ago as the the beginning of my path into dentistry in the United States. And my English were not as good, and I only been starting and barely uploaded videos on this channel. But as I spent years applying to dental schools and going through application cycles with many schools, losing my chances here and there, getting applications ready with a lot of experts to whom I paid a lot of money. I'll jump into my story. This is the topic of the video I want to discuss. I want to discuss why am I not dentistry in the United States, and it will be no specific numbers, but I just want to come out here and hopefully you're gonna hear me out, especially if you are the one who did not arrive to the United States but only considering as a foreign trained dentist, or perhaps not even a dentist, but maybe from your country, but maybe you are young enough to come here to the US and go through college and go through then a 4-year DDS DMD program, not having yet a dental diploma from your foreign country. So it's a long story short, it's a very challenging commitment. This is what I would say in a couple of words if you ask me what all of this path is. To make it long, I am Armenian and I studied in Russia. I graduated in 2013. I practiced so in internship with a focus on oral surgery, as well as I boosted up my medical English, during my 7th semester, so 3 years and a half bachelor additional higher educational program in translations in a professional spectrum of medical field. So I have a diploma of an interpreter, translator in English Russian translator in medical field. And then in 2015 I also finished my additional well, we call it here fellowship in oral surgery. It was only 5 to 6 months back in Russia as well. We mostly had lectures versus practice, and we needed that fellowship in Russia to officially practice oral surgery, do manipulations in oral surgery. So probably already went long enough in my background, but I practiced only for a year and a half as a dentist, having practiced from the end of my internship, and this is something that allowed me to do that, my internship diploma. So overall 6 years, 6 years in Russian higher education of being a dentist, plus half year there, plus additional, not obligatory, not mandatory education as a translator in English, medical English. Did I get accepted yet? No, I didn't to the any US program. The thing is, I wasn't a bad student. My GPA is 3.43 under evaluation of ECE.org and 3.45 under WAS evaluation. For the main diploma and for the fellowship in oral surgery, it's 3.65. It's a long commitment, it's a life commitment, guys. And before my foreign dental school, I have been taking 2 years of classes in high school, 2 last years, with the profile of medical field, so that I could get ready for a medical or dental school. I've been deciding yet, and I chose dentistry. The number one advice here is to be sharp and be prepared in advance for every single step. This is something I did not do because of many factors. Things when you move to the United States really distract you, such as tourism. You want to go here or there, meeting new people, figuring out how to rent for lower than you can rent a room or apartment. Figuring out how to deal, with a family. If you move with a family, I moved alone, and this is here in the United States. I moved to New York first, and then moved to the DC, Washington DC, and here I obtained my new family, my wife and a kid, and basically work. Not every work and employer and your coworkers are satisfying. So it's also stress. Working with people is always stress, and figuring out how to not give a damn. This is one thing that is one of the important things to learn. How to not give a thing, how to not give a damn to many things that surround you. People who move, immigrants, are under the stress on the first place. Plus, you have to deal with English as a new language and career in English as a career in a new language. Career of a dentist in the United States is completely different than what you had in your country. Many things are taught differently, many technologies are differently, approaches in theory and practice are different. One important thing is that you obviously have family. If you are not married, having kids, you probably have parents and maybe siblings. It doesn't really matter. Everyone has to be acknowledged as they also go through this process with you. And what I mean by that is it's probably family savings, one of the biggest things. It's timing that you cut off from your family, either from a kid, wife, parents. It's timing that you might have been cutting off from your work hours. You need to sometimes find extra time to study for exams, or your exams are at specific dates and you have to take off. Your cycles require a lot of fees, application fees. Those are thousands of dollars, not hundreds, thousands of dollars. If you just want to start, apply to a couple of programs, just $1,000. So, and so on and so on. So a program application, a single application, would cost you above $300, $300 plus. If you get through an interview, they could also charge you for prior to interview, they charge you also interview fees, most of them. In most of the schools now versus 10 years ago, 7 years ago, this is my 6th cycle. And obviously I had invites, I had a lot of travels, I had a lot of courses I've been taking. I paid over $30,000 for everything, including expensive courses that I've been adding, etc., etc. So an additional fee would be for the following step after the interview is a bench test, bench exam, which very little schools had, not little, but minimum schools had back in the day, but now it's more than half of the programs. And what I mean by half of the programs is probably CAPIT cycle, ADA CAPIT, which is a program for international standing dentist. Nevertheless, if you wanna not go, if you wanna skip going to the international dentist pathway, it's not as easy as well. One of other way is to go directly through towards the ADA PASS, ADA PASS, which is a post diploma education. Could be residency programs there, and could be programs that are advanced, and you would compete with graduates of a American dental school schools, with Americans who went through 4-year DDS, or perhaps those who already studied on the last 2 years on the international dentist track. So you would compete still with a lot of people. One other way is to what they call start from the beginning, meaning not taking short path, but taking longer paths and paying normally longer for longer years. It's 4 years. You pay more money. So yeah, at least 200,000 more, approximately. Not specifically to any specific school, which is 4 years instead of 2.5, sometimes 3, as it is in the advanced standing. And for that 4-year ADA DSS pathway, you still compete with Americans. And exam is, in my opinion, that I've been taking 2 times, called DAT, dental admission test, being normally taken by Americans who graduated from pre-dental college, pre-dental undergraduate program of college, which is normally 3 to 4 years. I'm not gonna go into specifics of college, but still, you compete with those, and you still have specific you don't have specific idea how to deal with those tests on that exam, which is completely different from INBDE, having been surprising, because you on DAT you meet algebra and a lot of logics and tasks, to be honest. Questions, as per my perspective, are going quicker, a little bit quicker than on INBDE. So it doesn't mean that, okay, it's more seats in the class. It's, I don't know, it's much more seats in the class. It doesn't mean you don't have to study hard. You still compete, and it's still difficult. And honestly, I didn't expect having recording this myself and saying on this video, but after this years, and it's not some kind of regret, but after this years, the admission into the United States dental schools became more and more difficult, and I see it year by year, being applying for 6 years, where there is no guarantee that you're going to be called for interview, and so on and so on and so on, for many factors, by different schools. I want you to look into other countries, Canada, Australia, Europe, Eastern Europe specifically. I heard that Australia has twice as little salary for dentists. This is very roughly, like I said, no specifics in numbers, but you don't have to go through the program and get the loan for 10-15 years. You only have to take 2 exams, which are happening approximately, don't trust me, maybe once a year, maybe once 6 months, probably once every 6 months. And there are probably a limit to them, like how many times you're gonna take, within how many years you're gonna take from the start. I'm not sure, but still, only 2 exams. One is sort of like theoretical for dentistry, and another one is practical. Obviously, they are not easy, but it's a good cutoff, and you still practice in English if you've been learning English in your country as a second language, in school or etc. So for me, why I chose the United States, because I had some far relatives. I had cousins, I had my aunt here. And what I liked is the idea of freedom and being able to obtain citizenship and being called American, and having this American passport for my kids and giving them future. And I was not blind enough, but for Canada, I kind of couldn't have those connections, and I felt like the visa for Canada and the process is more difficult. But maybe I'm mistaken. It's about the same. Honestly, it's also a lot of competition there, so I would compare it to this competition of the United States. But what I'm saying is, there are other countries. That's basically my message. And the one more country that became popular in my audience and mainly Russian speaking, as I have clients who get my services, who are mostly Russian speaking. I have Russian blog in Russian, and I talk about all of that. And this channel is just something like for general highlights, I would say, in English. And maybe a couple people I met moved to a very popular among Russian community country, United Arabic Emirates. So UAE, right? Which allows you to take also short path. I believe it's less exams and the process is way easier, and the salary is about twice as little, okay, as in the United States. Hence, people ought to come to the US. Many people, especially females, are becoming nervous because the process is nerve-wracking, because they have, women, I respect women, they're more emotional than men. And interestingly, more women are accepted, a little bit more women are accepted onto this programs than men. I cannot explain why, but perhaps diversity lays that way. So what I'm saying is, if you became on the path of the United States, this is like the second chapter of my talk, and probably the last one. I don't want to have this video for so long, running for so long. If you decided, you have to let your family know and ask them, are you with me? And what I mean by that is timing, money, commitments, travels, grabbing, emptying the family savings. You still have to be sharp and do as much as you can by yourself with free sources, but often, if not almost always, this is not the way. If you want to get really good services from experts, if you want to save not weeks, months, but years of failures during the cycles, you will get experts writing but helping you write your recommendation letters before you admit them to your recommenders for signatures, and sending your personal statement, aka statement of purpose, your CV, your curriculum vitae, aka your resume, educational resume, your preparation for interview, which is a big thing. It's about 50%, and I'm saying roughly, of your overall chance to get to the program. And finally, bench exam. Yeah, bench exam preparation is a big thing, and it takes a lot of losses. And a little bit about bench exam and interview is that you can obviously study by yourself. You can ask as many friends. And first off, why I failed interviews, and some of them I didn't, some of them I did, is so to some of them I didn't prepare, to some of them I prepared myself, to some of them I hired a guy who some person recommended, and he didn't do good job enough. And I only realized that when I got into interview to which he prepared me. You also have to do your diligent hard work, and besides those mentors, you have to refine your work and practice for interview, for bench exam, despite the courses that you've been taking. And the best ones for bench exam are Duggan's course. This is where I will be going in a couple of days. I'll be doing that course for the second time, and the gap was a few years. And Stevenson course. Finally, many people cannot afford studying, and many people, while being dentists, move to this country and end up working as dental assistants, either forever or probably for first time, having either a good salary and continuing working in that field, or finally working for that field sometime and then dropping it and going to higher paid jobs which are not dental related. Many people wait until they receive legal permanent documents, including green card, so that they can afford the loans. They can loans like FAFSA, etc., for dental education. Many people just don't want to be continuing being dentist. Many people don't have experience. They coming here right after the degree from their country, and they just never practiced dentistry, or this is not their thing. And I had clients like that, and they still call me, and they still trying to find out. So what I'm saying is, there are many candidates, and if you're taking this path, right, you spend a bunch of money, dozens of thousands of dollars, not just thousands of dollars, and you still didn't get in, please understand that you have to spend more for proper guidance, for proper tutoring, for proper coaching, for interview, for bench tests, Duggan or Stevenson. Do it in the right time. Schedule, yearly schedule, what steps of the practicing you need to do at what month or season. For instance, nobody will call you for bench test before May or June. So that means that ideally, to be with fresh knowledge and skills given to your hands, go to bench test course prior to May. Some schools unfortunately give you notice that they invited you to bench test only 3 weeks beforehand, and there's this unreal to schedule already booked courses, because most of the courses are already booked, and courses for big people that I just listed, 2 of them, are normally filling up in weeks, or they actually compete for its price, meaning they set the price very high, and it's very high price, and it drains a lot of budget, like I was saying like I was saying on this video continuously. But do it in the right time, in the right time of the year. Obviously, don't practice even before you started applying. Don't take that course. This is something I actually did. So I hoped I will get through in 2019 through the interviews and the bench test, and none of the schools called me in 2019 that I took this course. None of the schools called me for interview or bench. because my application was not efficient, and then second, in 2020 only one school called me, and there was only interview because COVID hit, and you know what I'm saying. So this is prepare to be flexible, right? So, and committed. If you want to know more details about dentistry in the United States, please spam me below with questions for future video topics, and I'll try to do my best to record the videos and explain you here and there what I know already. And subscribe to this channel. So far, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Smash the like, and you know what to do.